Okay, everyone, we have finished our section for question number one, and now we're moving into question number two. As you know, question number one and number two are actually similar in strategy. However, there are some slightly different questions in for question number two than they have in question number one. Although I like to say that I really think that anything's open to happen with questions one and two. And so just be prepared for anything, because sometimes I've seen questions that I thought were for question number two that have appeared in question number one. So let's go ahead and move forward with our look at the strategy for question number two, and then we'll go over the templates, the examples of the templates, and the examples of the templates with scripts, so that you have a really good understanding of how to do question number two. If you have just finished your question number one with us, then you really are kind of prepared already for question number two, and this will only reinforce what you learned in the previous section. So we're going to help you to be able to get a great speaking question to score. We're going to help you to hit the mark and get that score of 26. Remember, you may have in section number one watched the video about about how to be successful with all of the speaking questions. And you know that it's a combination of your general English skills and the TOEFL strategies that I teach you with this course. So you can't stop getting better at your general English. There's a direct correlation between your general English level and your ability to apply the strategies and tactics in this course. So you have to do both, okay? Some people think that, well, if I just keep studying for the TOEFL and I keep taking it over and over and over again, that I'll get better. And it doesn't work that way, all right? It doesn't work that way. You can't keep doing the same thing repeatedly and thinking you're going to get a different result. That's the definition of insanity. To think that you can do the same thing over and over and over again and get a different result. You have to be able to learn and apply your strategies better, but also keep improving your general English, because the more you improve your general English, that's what actually controls your going up and down the scale on the rubric. It's, of course, knowing what to do from a strategy standpoint, but then your general English skills are what move you up and down the scale. So you want to have a great combination of both. I'm going to tell you how to make this test easy and to have a high rate of success, but you need to have the general English skills to meet me halfway. So we're going to go over the basics, and then we're going to go into the other parts in terms of the answer templates and avoiding low score marks, avoiding low score mistakes, and high score tips and some of the examples. All right, so we're doing the independent speaking question number two. Here are the basics. You'll be asked a general question about your life or opinion. It could be preference, agree, disagree, explanation. You'll have 15 seconds to prepare an answer on paper. Then you'll have 45 seconds to provide your answer in a coherent manner, and that clock is going to stop exactly at 45 seconds. Exactly at 45 seconds. If you keep speaking, you're not being recorded, and the test is going to jump to the next question anyway. So you really need to practice with the clock and have really good clock management. That's a big part of doing well on this test. Now with question number two, you have some question types that are different than question number one. You have this agree, disagree question that can appear. You have a pro-con question possibly, like advantage, disadvantage, I prefer, and also explaining something, right? So these are your different question types that you have to deal with in part number two. And so they really have added some things in terms of the question types. The format and the structure is the same as how it's always been. It's been the same way for the past 10 or 12 years. You know, it's been 15 seconds to prepare, 45 seconds to speak. So structure hasn't changed, but they're trying to make it more challenging by throwing in some different types of questions that you have to be able to manage and do well at. You want to avoid these kind of common mistakes. right? These kind of common mistakes in terms of overstating. And what I mean by that is sometimes people, when you give your choice, when you make your choice, depending on what template design you're using, of course, but if you're using template design 1 or 2, and you're taking 15 or 20 seconds to tell us your choice, you've overstated that. And then you're gonna run out of time. You're not going to be able to give a really good answer. Also minimal development lowers your score. If you have a fluency problem and you don't really develop and explain your ideas well, it's going to be hard for you to get a 4. Not answering the question. If you don't understand the question and you answer a different question than what's on the screen, automatic low score. And then also being too long or too short can make your score pretty low. Okay, so those are the basics of question number 2. Now let's go ahead and move forward into the next lecture, where we're going to learn about we're gonna move to the next lecture, where we're going to learn something about the some success tips and habits, and also start looking at the different templates that you can use for question number 2. Okay, so I will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot for joining us.